I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. I begin this program this evening on a very somber note. The well-beloved songstress, Olivia Newton-John, has died at the age of 73. Olivia Newton-John, the angelic Australian singer who forged a hopelessly devoted following with her chart-stopping hits Physical, Have You Never Been Mellow, and You're the One That I Want. Her Grease debut with John Travolta has died, as previously stated, at the age of 73. Newton-John died Monday morning at her ranch in Southern California. Her husband, John Easterling, announced on Facebook. Olivia has been a symbol of triumphs and hope for over 30 years, sharing her journey with breast cancer, he wrote. Her healing inspiration and pioneering experience with plant medicine continues with the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund, dedicated to researching plant medicine and cancer. Born in England and raised in Melbourne, Newton-John was first diagnosed with breast cancer. Pardon me, I'm sorry. This is kind of emotional. Born in England and raised in Melbourne, Newton-John was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 1992. And she announced in May 2017 that after 25 years in remission, the disease had spread to her lower back. The singer in August 2018 canceled a two-day tour just 3 weeks after announcing it. She was to reminisce about her career with Interviewer in Melbourne and Sydney. A country pop and soft rock sensation in the 1970s and 80s. With Girl Next Door appeal, Newton-John sold more than 100 million albums and had nearly 40 entries on the Billboard Hot 100 during her 5 decades in music. Her popularity, however, reached another plateau after she was hired to play Rydell High School girl Sydney Olsen opposite Travolta as Danny Zuko in Grease 1978. Paramount's adaptation of the musical that had bowed on Broadway in 1972 and would run for nearly 3,400 performances during its original run. For the actress to star opposing 23-year-old Travolta, producer Al Carr considered Carrie Fisher of Star Wars had yet to be released, Deborah Ruffin, Susan Day, and Marie Osmond before he encountered Newton-John, then 29, at a dinner party hosted by singer Helen Reddy. Her previous movie, The Little Seen English sci-fi flick Tomorrow, which occurred in 1970, had been a failure, and that had Newton-John wary. I was very anxious about making another film because my music career was going well, and I did not want to mess it up by doing another movie that wasn't good, Newton-John told Vanity Fair in 2016. As Carrie tried to convince her to take the part, he promised to make her character Australian. Travolta also lobbied for her. She had a brilliant voice, and I didn't think there could be any more a correct person for Sandy in the universe. In its review of Grease, The Hollywood Reporter noted that Newton-John projected a youthful innocence and vulnerability in her performance and likened her to a kind of 70s Debbie Reynolds. Others compared her to Doris Day. Made for just $6 million, Grease, directed by first-time Randall Kleiser, went on to reel in $395 million, $1.7 billion in today's dollars, becoming the highest-grossing American movie musical of the 20th century. Newton-John, Hopelessly Devoted to You, and 2 debuts with Travolta, You're the One That I Want, and Summer Nights, became instant classics. Travolta reacted to her death in an Instagram post. My dearest Olivia, you made all of our lives so much better. Your impact was incredible. I love you so much. We will see you down the road, and we will all be together again. Yours from the first moment I saw you and forever. Your daddy, your John. She was born on September 26, 1948 in Cambridge, England, the youngest of three children. Her father, Brindley, was a headmaster and her mother, Irene, was the daughter of a Nobel Prize winning physicist. The family moved to Melbourne when she was just 5, and she learned to play the piano. By the time she turned 15, Newton-John had formed a Soul for an all-girl group and performing Everything's Coming Up Roses won a talent contest on the popular TV show Sing, Sing, Sing. First prize was a trip to London, and she teamed with a friend, Pat Carroll, to perform on army bases and in clubs in Europe. Newton-John signed with Decca Records and in 1966 recorded a version of Jackie DeShannon's Till You Say You'll Be Mine. Then became the sole female member of a bubblegum band called Tomorrow, assembled by Don Kirshner in hopes of creating a UK version of the Monkees. The Tomorrow film was written and directed, by Val Guest. Newton-John opened for Cliff Richard on tour and appeared on his British TV show before making an impression in 1971 with a version of Bob Dylan's If Not For You off her first album. In 1973, she received the first of 4 Grammy Awards, winning the Best Country Vocalist trophy for her U.S. album debut. Let Me Be There, the title track, was her first top 10 single. She then had her first 2 number ones with I Honestly Love You in 1974 and Have You Never Been Mellow a year later. John Farrar, her longtime songwriter, wrote Hopelessly Devoted to You and You're the One I Want for Her. He came into my trailer at like 6 in the morning because he had been up all night, Newton-John recalled. He played You're the One That I Want for me and said, what do you think? I went, oh God, it's amazing. It just had this fantastic energy. Newton-John followed up Grease with the roller disco fantasy Xanadu in 1980, in which she shared a dance with Gene Kelly in his final film. The movie stumbled at the box office, but the soundtrack contained her hits, Magic, 4 weeks at number 1. Xanadu, written by Jeff Lynne and performed with Elo, and suddenly a duet with Richard. She re-teamed with Travolta for the fantasy comedy Two of a Kind in 1983, and that spawned Twist of Fate, another top 10 hit for her. With Newton-John reinventing herself as a spandex-clad aerobics fanatic in a sexy and funny musical video, Physical, spent 2 consecutive weeks at number 1 from 1981 into early 1982, and no other song lasted as long as at the top during the entire decade. Newton-John also had hits with Let Me Be There, If You Love Me, Let Me Know, Make a Move on Me, and Heart Attack, among many others. More recently, Newton-John played the Barley Bitsy May Harling in Del Shore's black comedy Sordid Lives in the year 2000, and on a 2008 TV spinoff for Logo, sang during the opening ceremony in the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, appeared in the films Soaring, a hockey musical, 2010, and A Few Best Men, which occurred in 2011, and played herself in 2 episodes of Glee, performing Physical with Jane Lynch. In April 2014, she began a 3-year residency at the Flamingo Las Vegas, billed as a musical journey through her career in movies and music. An inspiration to those affected by breast cancer, she helped launch the Olivia Newton-John Cancer and Wellness Center in Melbourne and raised hundreds of millions of dollars in the fight against the disease. She always preferred to be called a cancer thriver rather than a cancer survivor. Survivor sounds like someone clinging onto a lifeboat, she said. A thriver's someone's who's already off the boat and on land. She also supported many other charities and environmental concerns. Survivors include her husband, whom she married in 2008, her daughter Chloe, with whom she collaborated on the dance song You Have to Believe, sister Sarah, brother Toby, and nieces and nephews Tody, Fiona, Brett, Emerson, Charlie, Zach, Jeremy, Randall, Fizir, Jude, Layla, Kyra, Tasha, Brian, and Valerie. Her sister, Rona, who died of brain cancer in 2013, was an actress who was married to Olivia's Grease co-star, Jeff Conaway, from 1980 until her divorce in 1985. In lieu of flowers, the family asked that donations be made in her memory to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund. For Tyrone Bowman Tonight, I'm Tyrone Bowman.